Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your manifestation coach. All the information from me is below. I mainly coach in audios and emails to coach my clients to help them achieve the best results in their manifestational games, to transform themselves into better versions of themselves. Mainly, it's an audio exchange coaching. We exchange audios back and forth. We cover everything in my coaching, starting from your childhood, your formative years, your belief systems, everything that made you who you are up until today. It's a very thorough kind of coaching. There's no such coaching on the internet anywhere. I hold your hand throughout the entire process. I give you my honest, direct feedback. I ask you questions. We cover a lot of ground in this coaching in order to transform you into the new version that will manifest all the things that you want to have. It doesn't happen just by addressing certain techniques or affirmations or even imagination. You need to start with yourself to get to know yourself, who is creating your reality. Most people walk around with belief systems, i.e., blueprints of reality that they have inherited from other people, like their parents, their guardians, what have you. Somebody who influenced them earlier on. The conditioning happens from a 1-year-old to 7 years old. This is the most crucial time in your life, which is why I start with childhood and which is why I am so thorough in my coaching. If you want to be coached by me, you need to put yourself on the waiting list by emailing me and describing what you want to address in the coaching. In addition to that, you really need to pre-book, which means prepay in advance so I can put you next in line whenever somebody exits my coaching. I recommend a monthly coaching with me at least. Usually it's 2 to 3 months to really cover thoroughly somebody's life and set them up for success. Now, I do offer different packages on my website. The link is below. There's a 2-week unlimited, which means unlimited audios and emails, which it also includes 2 telephone call sessions, 1 hour each long. You get to choose when we get to implement those. Usually I like to start my coaching with a phone session because I want to get to know you. I want to hear what you've got to say. With your permission, I record that phone session. There's a monthly unlimited, which includes, in addition to audios and emails, it includes 5 telephone sessions. And then there is a complete package, which is mostly unlimited telephone sessions in addition to audios and emails. I also have a seminar for 10, which covers everything I go over in coaching. This is seminar for 10. It could be a company, family, friends, whoever who want to take my seminar. It's up to 5 hours of my time. In the middle, we take a break and then we reconvene. And basically, it's like a crash course if you want to really learn everything I cover in my coaching. In addition to this is something I literally just added to my website. It's called Crash Course for One. So what you do with that is it's an audio which basically covers everything I go over in my coaching. This is everything I cover with anyone in my coaching. Now, it's generally stated, but more or less, it's everything I cover in my coaching because everybody's individual. Now, it could be, some people may need more coaching after this and that. But if you want to cover everything I cover in my coaching, this is an audio instructing you to do the exercises I do with my clients. Okay, it's about an hour audio that basically goes through everything you need to go through in order to change your beliefs, to go through your childhood, to do the prescription, to do the scripts, like just about everything I go through in my coaching. Now, again, if you have a particularly specific case, I really recommend coaching. The advantage, obviously, is that if you sign up for my coaching, I hold your hand and there's an interaction. This package is there's no interaction. You do it yourself. This is for somebody who wants to do it themselves. Okay. So it's up on my website. It's called Crash Course for One. It just basically instructs you how to do it yourself, and you can do a lot yourself. But again, obviously the advantage of hiring me as a coach is because we go through it, one-on-one. I instruct you in specifics what it is you need to do in your case. But if you want to do it yourself, this package is available right now on my website, and you can take advantage of that. It's obviously not as much money, but it serves a purpose to really set you up for success. You could experience enormous changes with this because it literally, I'm giving you the holy grail of my coaching. And you can do all the exercises if you really put in the time for it, if you really are dedicated to it. Okay. Also, if you're listening to my channel and you're enjoying my content, please subscribe. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can go live and I can start answering your questions so you can see my lovely face and we can interact. Again, if you have any questions, my email is below. More than happy to answer. And please have patience. I receive tons of emails daily. If I don't answer right away, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm getting to you. Okay. Okay, the subject of today is what to do if your SP leaves. So a lot of my clients and a lot of people talk about this premise. Essentially, what the SP situation is based on mostly out there in the internet world is that how to bring your SP back. The SP either left, you broke up with them, or they broke up with you. Some dramatic thing happened, some drama happened, and now you're not together, and basically you're in no contact and this and that, and you haven't seen them, haven't heard from them. But essentially, they're not in your life. Either they chose to break up with you, you're not in communication. And this is the whole shebang. So in the event that the SP literally leaves you, or breaks up with you, or decides to go with somebody else or something to that effect, the number one situation is that you can't react. And I know this is like so difficult to hear, and maybe you think that this is impossible to do, but listen to me when I tell you that this is going to turn things around in your favor in the most immediate way, in the shortest amount of time. If you don't start freaking out, you won't be reacting to the current situation in the 3D, thus disempowering that situation, okay? If you react to anything in the 3D, you are giving it power, thus perpetuating it in your life. I don't care what it is, SP leaving or money or this and that and the other, you're perpetuating. If you start freaking out, if you start being fearful, if you start being desperate, if you start begging and chasing, you're giving power away, which was yours to begin with. Okay? So don't be desperate. Don't react. I know this is very difficult, but you just have to drink like a bathtub of chamomile tea. Listen to some jazz music or whatever music you prefer. Just take a deep breath and say, it's okay. And here's why. First of all, why did you manifest this situation? To show yourself that you're that powerful as to manifest this SP leaving. You definitely had thoughts in opposition to your happiness. You started thinking doubtful thoughts. You started thinking that maybe he or she will leave. You thought that you were not good enough. You were insecure. You were becoming like a little bit like, this is too good to be true. And so on and so forth. Nothing just happens out of the blue. It happened because you manifested it. Think about how powerful that is, right? So you manifested, everything was fine or seemingly fine. Maybe you had a couple of problems, but boom, all of a sudden they up and left. They ghosted you, they disconnected from you. You manifested that. Congratulations, you're that fucking powerful. Now, don't you think if you can manifest something so shitty, you can also manifest something so great? The universe is a benevolent place. So if you can manifest something so shitty, first of all, it takes a lot more effort to manifest something so shitty, because the universe is a benevolent place. So think, if you can manifest something so shitty, how much less effort does it take to manifest something great? Now, parenthesis here, okay, you guys know what's coming. Only if you address your beliefs, which is why I just created a fucking crash course for those people, who, maybe it's a little less money, so you can really understand what I'm talking about and how to do it, okay? You really need to dedicate yourself to examining your belief system. This is where it's all coming from. This is why the chatter started in your head. This is too good to be true. They're gonna leave me. La 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 la. I don't deserve this. Listen, you created it, okay? It's hard sometimes for people to hear that, but as soon as you realize it, as soon as you understand that nothing happens without your permission or without your influence, you begin on a journey of a complete revolution in your life. Seriously though. You start taking things a little bit more seriously, and you start examining your life, your beliefs, what has transpired thus far, what have I been thinking? Oh, this is why I created this. And so, in effect, you should really thank this SP for leaving you, in the sense that they showed you, they mirrored back to you what you had going on inside. Now, isn't this a very piece of valuable information? Oh, thank you so much. You're just a mirror of mine. I created you in the first place from scratch. First of all, you create everybody from scratch. You know this, right? I mean, when you were a child, maybe not your mom and dad, because, you kind of pick those before you come into this existence, but that's another story for another time. But as P's, when you start creating consciously and you're an adult, you create those from scratch. I mean, down to their hair color and their eye color, what they do for a living, their character. You created that person from scratch. And so they're mirroring back to you what you created in the first place. They have nothing to do with this. It's only your creation. You assign them this role of, you're going to leave me. This is going to go to shit. On some level, subconsciously, you created that story, and the story played out in your existence, in your 3D chapter and verse. So you're responsible for it. Might as well take accountability. Not to blame yourself, but to take responsibility for it. And so job one would be, yes, to take responsibility, but also to not react. To say, okay, so this is my creation. How interesting. How interesting. What do I have to do right now? I gotta go examine my beliefs. I gotta go examine how the fuck I created this shit. I gotta go to work on myself, in other words. Because there's nobody else to fix but yourself. If you fix yourself, you fix everything around you. Many people are running around and begging and chasing and doing and this affirmation and this technique and this bullshit. And it's like, chill the fuck out. Your job is you. I don't give a flying fuck how many affirmations you do a day. If you fall asleep to them and if you recite them all day long, nothing's gonna change. You know why? Because, excuse me, but it's like putting a pile of jam on a pile of shit. And the pile of shit represents your beliefs. And the pile of jam will not make it any sweeter. Okay? Yes, I just grossed you out on purpose. You really need to take out the garbage of the beliefs that are limiting you out of your life, which is why the work on beliefs is so important. It's so important. You can say an affirmation till you're blue in the face. It won't change a thing until you address what you actually believe, until you address the kind of beliefs you picked up from your parents, from your guardians, whoever. And then you start reconstructing them. This is the meticulous work. This is why I offer coaching. This is why it's important to go to work on yourself and stop reacting to the 3D. Stop being a slave to the 3D where it's like, every time something happens, like, whoa, okay, something happened. Good. Now let's examine why that happened. Ultimately, you're living in the universe of your creation. Everybody's just your puppet. Yes, I've said it. Everybody's just your character in your world. There's nothing else going on but your decisions. Just people walking around doing things seemingly on their own, but you're deciding it for them in your reality. In their reality, sure, they get another version of you and another version of everybody else. But in your reality, you're the decider. And so if you're the decider, if you're the CEO of your life, you're the main fucking, golden Buddha, the king, the queen, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you're the god of your reality. Wouldn't be of the utmost interest, of the paramount importance, to get to know who the fuck's creating the reality? You. Y-O-U. And so your beliefs become the shit that you need to address. Some of them are good, but some of them are not so good. And the not so good ones created this situation because you thought of yourself as less of a person. You thought of yourself that you could be left behind or become a second option or even no option at all. That created that scenario, period. Consciously or subconsciously, you created that scenario and now it played out. Again, useful information. And so again, the work becomes you. You examine your beliefs. You begin understanding how you created this. After you're done with that, you go to work on creating the new version of yourself, the one that will attract a different circumstance. There is no use, listen to me when I'm telling you, there is no use in calling this person, texting that person, begging that person, chasing that person, imploring that person. Fuck that shit. That's for amateurs. Listen, you can completely leave them alone and be like, okay, you go ahead. What's that? You leaving? Go. Thank you. I'll help you pack your bags. You want to leave me for another person? No problem. Have fun, my darling. Please do. I am, that confident that I don't have to react right now. You want to go explore other possibilities? Go for it. No problem. Take your time. Take as much time as you need. I'm going to be over here examining why the fuck I created the situation in the first place. Because all that matters is me. So obviously, I've created something I don't prefer. Rather than reacting, screaming and shouting at you or crying and begging, I'm going to go back to the lab. I'm going to go back to the drawing board and examine why did I create that. And more than that, while I'm doing that, I'm going to start creating a new version of myself. One that is confident, secure, feels safe, abundant, happy, on their own, with or without you. There's no other way to do this. If you're chasing somebody, usually they're running away. And so you don't really need them to be whole, to be complete, to feel safe, to feel loved. You need to generate this feeling within yourself first, and they will mirror it back to you. They're just a mirror. There's nothing else going on but you. Capiche? There's no way that you can create another version of them who prefers you if you don't prefer you. They're just mimicking back to you what you already have going on. And so the only way you magnetize a new version of them who prefers you, who loves and adores you, who chooses only you, who is loyal and faithful and this, that, and the other, is by becoming a new version of you. And that takes work. And it's not affirmations, like I said. It's not techniques. It's you. It's the work on you, the kind of person you are becoming right now. After you're done going through your beliefs, rescripting them, writing scripts, and this, that, and the other, you start investing in yourself. You start making yourself happy. The self-care comes to mind a lot. You go get pedicures, you create a new company, you make new friends, you go take a fucking yoga class. Whatever it is that makes you happy, you start investing in yourself. When you're chasing somebody, you're depleted. You think that they are your happiness. Meanwhile, it's the other way around. You're supposed to attract happiness, not chase it. The only reason that you push them away energetically is, of course, with thoughts and with all these insecurities, but also with the energy going out all the time. It needs to come back in. When you're pointing the arrows back in towards yourself, meaning you invest energy in yourself, you make yourself the priority, you take care of yourself, you look beautiful, you smell beautiful, you invest in your company, start another business, get a promotion, blah, 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 blah. You are a magnet. You're a fucking magnificent magnet who attracts not only that fucking SP, but many other guys or girls, many other like monetarily successful situations, many other happy things. And you become extraordinary. When you're chasing after somebody, you are saying this and nothing else can make me happy, which is bullshit and completely wrong. And even after they come back, you cannot do that. Yes, they are part of your life and this and that. They're your partner, they're your husband, they're your wife. But the majority of the time you spend on your own. Meaning, you work, you go to work, you go to sleep, you interact with them throughout the day, and maybe you go to sleep with them, but you are your own person. And so you need to invest in you. You're an individual, a magnet, a manifesting genius. Stop attributing importance to other fucking people, even if it's your fucking partner. You need to make decisions for you, the kind of things you want to manifest. Stop giving away your power. Stop giving away your gold. I don't give a fuck who this is. Even if it's your partner, anybody under the sun. You are the center of your universe. The minute you start giving away your power, chasing, begging, pleading, attributing importance to other people more than to yourself, I mean, it's a recipe for a major disaster. Let me just tell you that. You can forgive the person for putting you through this experience, but really, as some people pointed out on my channel, the forgiveness should be towards yourself. Meaning, I created this experience for myself. I forgive myself for doing that. But even in and of itself, it's a great experience. Why? Because like I said, it taught you something. It mirrored back to you where you were. It's very, very useful information if you're on a journey of self-improvement. Self-development. The idea is not to hate this person, not to be resentful, not to be revengeful and this and that, not to be, you can process all these emotions, and I go over in my coaching, through this extensively, because we're all human beings. Yes, of course, your feelings got hurt and it wasn't right and this and that and the other. However, once you're done doing that, you take responsibility and you realize this was a lesson. This was a major, profound lesson. This person has taught me something incredible here. that I gave away my power, that I shouldn't be doing it, not for them, not for anybody. And in fact, like I said, you should really thank them. Thank you so much for teaching me a lesson. Without you, without this kind of behavior, I would never have become a new version of myself. I would never have achieved this, that, and the other. I would have never pushed myself this hard. I would have never gotten coaching with Anna. Seriously though, these are all gifts. If you turn them around and treat them as such, as useful information, as something that propels you towards being somebody greater and grander. And so just to recap, don't react, don't be desperate, don't chase, don't beg, don't do none of that fucking shit. Work on your beliefs, get into coaching, work on yourself, create abundance in your life in every possible way, invest in yourself, and create a new version of yourself that would magnetize not only that guy or girl, but just about every other thing that you would love to have. And I have a little secret to tell you, that when that person comes back towards you and apologizes to you, you might not even want them because you've so surpassed the person that you used to be before. You might, but you might not even want them because you've so evolved past that point where you used to be before. But you will definitely get them back and more. They will apologize and then will come begging for your forgiveness. And it's simply because you became somebody new, somebody who values themselves, somebody who has invested in themselves, somebody who has taken themselves seriously and taken that as a gift, not a curse. Not wallowing in their sorrow and this and that, but actually taking the cue from the circumstances and saying, oh, okay, so I created this, so let me create something different. And I leave you with this. Always remember that you are the creator of your reality. You are the golden Buddha. You are the God of your reality. Don't ever lose sight of that. Not now, not when you'll get your SP back. It's the most important component of my teaching, and you need to really remember that. If you keep your focus on that, miraculous things will happen that right now you probably wouldn't even believe. Just like you unconsciously created this experience for yourself, you can then consciously create something very specific, very on purpose, and 100% to your liking. Thank you so much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.